Sure. Andaria has now been operating for, I think, close on 3 years. Very much a financial services-led company first. I mean that via governance, compliance standpoint. And I think the reason that's important is because in this space, compliance, governance, and risk sometimes becomes a bit of an afterthought. And companies tend to try and catch up with that a little bit later. So we kind of wanted to buck that trend and disrupt it ever so slightly by going, let's build the governance, foundation, compliance, and a structure first and foremost. That gives us a very solid foundation to really go into the kind of technology side of things and really offer our embedded solutions. So getting to the point, what are we about? It's really, if I had to kind of surmise it in a nutshell, allow our clients to do what they're very good at, but at the same time, allow us to do what we're very good at, and bring that into a single ecosystem where you fuse the two kind of intelligent bits, if you like, and offer a downstream value-add proposition to our client's ecosystem. That in a nutshell, what does that mean? So embedded finance as an industry is huge. We're very much focused in the payment space. So we provide our clients with the ability to provide their clients a financial service predicated on payments that provides cost efficiency, data, cost savings, I think is clear, but also banking or financial stuff, if you like, is always traditionally deemed as a cost center. We turn that on its head and make it a revenue generator. And that's really us in a nutshell. So really empowering our clients to offer downstream value proposition to their clients. Sure, and I think again this could be that's $1 million question, if you like. But I think the bit that really resonates with us is where there is a loyal, arguably even tribal following of a given brand that is potentially our client base. I think that's the starting point. And the reason that's a good starting point is because you have that loyalty inherently already created. And that means adding a product or a service to that is not now a change of stance or a change of the offering. You've got that loyalty bit, now you're adding a product offering that still looks and feels like the loyal brand that you're following, but it's now a feature ad, and it's not transactional, and it's not that you're being sold to by a third-party company. So I think that's really one of the key elements, and that's all driven around customer centricity. So for us, it's very important that we, number one, don't dilute our client's brand, but also that we don't disrupt their consumer or business's journey. And if you can marry all of those things up, I think that is what I would call kind of the sweet spot or the melting pot of where kind of amazing things can happen. I would say there's an education element. So the simple answer is not a yes or a no. I think it kind of sits somewhere in between. And the reason for that is I think if you look at 23, I'd say embedded finance as a whole is probably at the tip of the iceberg with a lot more to come. And the question is probably more, how do we get to a bigger chunk of the iceberg, if you like? I think that comes with education, but it also comes with value proposition. So as long as we can not only convey, show, try, test, that actually there's a value proposition that works and that adds value, I think in terms of other companies taking this up, the world is our oyster, for want of a better phrase. But I'm also cognizant that Andaria can't go after everything and everyone, and therefore we've got a specific niche to go back to the earlier thing I mentioned around, right, where is there a tribal following of a brand? And if you typically think of that, it's in the sports arena. And for us, that's a really key sector of focus. So naturally, when you've been following, be it a football club or rugby or whatever sport it may be, you have that tribal element and that thing of, I know this brand, I resonate with this brand, this has been with me my entire life, and arguably even generational. And it's now if we can show them the value prop that not only addresses the commercial side of finance, but also the social element. And what I mean by that is really focusing on the communities within a football club. And if you look at the UK specifically, there's a clear cost of living crisis, and there's still arguably fans and sports fans that would kind of go and watch a game first before arguably they're feeding themselves, right? And I think we've got a priority as someone that's in the financial space to help that community, and we'll do that kind of by simply maybe putting in habits such as saving patterns. And so rather than looking at spend, let's look at how we get the community to grow with our offering. And that can be done through savings habits rather than spending habits. And I think if we can implement those and show the value prop to sports clubs, I think that is really where the sweet spot lies for us.